Goldilocks did.
What's good, y'all? Back at it again with another live. Give me a quick second. I'm just gonna check out who we have here in the chat real quick. I already saw, shout outs to all the reactors in the chat. Shout outs to all of you supporting. Make sure y'all share this, get the likes up on this one. We do have a special guest here today. But before we get into that, real quick, before we get into that, I just want to shout out everybody who's here. There's 50 y'all in here. Make sure y'all share this one. I'm looking at y'all right now on my tablet. Shout out to Drink Season. Shout outs to, I see Spacey's in there, Rag Talk. Yeah, shout outs to all of y'all, right? So for those of you who were here, remember 2 weeks ago, my last interview was with Lee to the V. And that was a really dope interview. That we had a really good time with that one. And, we're back again with another. So I think y'all have been wanting to find out who we got this time. So I'm gonna let my special guests introduce themselves.
What you said? Drill Simon Cole.
Yo, what's good?
Yo, Wagwan.
We in there, man. Wagwan.
Yo, what's good, people? And Mr. Drill Simon Cowell in the building. He goes by the name of Walks 2 CD. Double S. Yo, what's good, man?
You telling me, bro?
We're chilling. I'm just pulling up, some of our talking points for today. But yo, This is a good one. Yeah, I know this is gonna be a dope conversation. The last one that we had with Lee, that was lit. So let the people know who you are, man. The Drill Simon Cowell. Wagwan.
Yeah, man. You know me, Mr. Walks 2 CD. You get me? Whatever you want to call me, it's me. Us.
It's never them.
Only us.
Never.
You get me?
You get me. Yeah, man. Yo, so for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Shadiq. I also go by the name of Alchemist, and we're gonna get straight into this interview, man. I know a lot of y'all are some supporters of Walkz. Sidebar, I got my snipers in the chat. If any of y'all see anybody giving Walkz verbal, you know what to do. No warnings. That was the warning. You get me? Right? So we don't do warnings out here. So no verbal for the guests. Don't know. But yeah, man, yo. So as I'm getting everything sorted out, we gotta let the people know. We have to let the people know. How did you get this nickname? The Drill Simon Cowell. What is good with that?
People think I gave it to myself. Like I didn't. I was, debating. I'm a very blunt person, innit? Like outside of YouTube. So people are giving their opinions in my mentions. I weren't having it. RV's messaged me. I don't know if he was out of jail at this time or he was in jail, but he's like, what are you saying? Drill Simon Cowell? So I was like, rah. For the bants, I might as well just start calling myself that, innit? And then, can I say it?
And here we are today.
This is why he's always on me for his 5%, fam.
He wants royalties for everything that has the tag.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's comedy. Yo, so for those of you who didn't tune in to the last live that I did with Lee, right? The way I like to conduct this is really gonna be more conversational than it is gonna be straight up ask you a question or Walkz answers. No, we're gonna be looking at the chat. I don't know if Walkz is checking the chat right now, but I'm gonna be looking down every once in a while, seeing what some of y'all are saying. I mean, what some of the questions y'all have. And real quick, just so we can, I'm about to try something real quick, and y'all let me know.
Goku's gone instantly.
Y'all let me know how this sounds for y'all, right? Let me know if y'all hear. If y'all hear this, if it's too loud, let me know in the just like that. Just like that. Yeah, but y'all let me know. No, if you can hear the music is too loud. No, let me know. I'm gonna be checking the chat. But yeah, man. So why did you start your channel? Like, yeah, how did we get here? Well, how did you start?
Before, obviously, I had a website. I was blogging on the website, like doing write-ups on people from my area and these type of things. And they get me. From there, I was like, what's a more efficient way to kind of promote the mandem and the people I know in my area and the artists that I respect? Because, like, you know about the whole SEO stuff, and it's long to do blogs and get ranked on Google and these types of stuff. So it's like, all right, cool, let me do YouTube. So it was like just to promote the mandem and they get my face out there, but it turned into something totally different stuff. What made you? Because you was watching our channels before the whole reaction thing. Like, where did that come from?
You know what it is, yo? And I shared a piece of this story with Lee too. Like, it started with Too Blunt. You feel me? You know, shout out to Too Blunt.
Got Too Blunt.
You know what I mean? It started with him. This is way back, like my early years in college or uni. For those of y'all, you know, who are over there overseas, right? Started out with that, and that's when grime was the sound at the time. So just watching him learning, and just like learning from the crowd, the comments, and just watching his channel just blow up. I was like, damn, I could be doing that. But you know, it's always the analysis paralysis. You feel me? That whole like shoulda, coulda, woulda. But I got over that eventually, right? And then this is relatively recent though. So then it was last year during the pandemic, everything hit. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be home. I've been wanting to do this for a minute. I know I have something to offer, you know, in terms of my perspective and the way that I can talk about the music and the way that I understand the music and all that. So I was like, you know what? Let me just jump straight into it. I got the camera, I just started learning, and then and also it started with watching, you know, you and Lee, you know what I mean? With just getting familiar with the scene, watching music, seeing y'all, you know, get recommended in the seeing y'all get recommended on YouTube and all that. I was like, reaction. People are doing this like on a wide scale, and then yeah, man. And then from there, as you know, started with some small conversations with you and Lee, and then I just decided to do it.
Hey, we're glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Keep us on our toes, you get me?
Yeah. So we know the story as to like how you started the YouTube, but like what was the initial plan? Like what was the thing that you had in mind before even YouTube, if anything at all?
Producing.
Oh, so you always wanted to do music?
Yeah, like ProdByWalkz only started in 2015. Like before the reactions and that, I was doing beat making videos and stuff like that. And so as well as like promoting the mandem, it's like cool. Helping them helps me anyway. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like if I'm constantly promoting their thing, the bigger they get, you get me? Like
yeah. That's what you're saying.
It works both ways. You feel me? So people will see man's reactions to the mandem, and they will go check my beat making videos out and that. Do you feel what I'm saying? So that was the initial plan. Started doing the reactions, and yeah, my actual lack of actual like, when it comes to music, I'm never like fully on it. I'm nowhere near as consistent. It's more like a hobby for me than a career.
I understand.
What I'm saying?
That's what you're saying. Yeah, I got you.
So I always at some point fall back off of music. Like it's never like consistent, like Ghosty or Gotcha or them type of guys. Like
see what you're saying.
So that was the original plan, and it went out the window still.
Yeah, that it's interesting when I pay attention to a lot of like people's trajectories, right? And also those of you who are listening, let me know if you can hear the music fine, if it's too loud, and if I have to make any adjustments. But like when I look at people's channels, something that I like to do, right, is I like to go on people's channels and reverse sort their videos, right, and see where they started. Like, what was the first thing that they were doing, and just watching that growth, you know. So yes, I've seen your vlogs. I see back in them days when you used to be going to the events and the behind the scenes, you know. Yeah, that was interesting. The whole two cameras, that was unique. That was a dope setup. I'm not gonna hold you. That was different.
Bro, just trying things out, man. You gotta, you know, because obviously at that time, I wasn't at EE, but I was at another phone shop, innit? So I'm getting technology all the time. I just want to try it out, see what's working. I'm like you. I want to discover what works and what don't work. You feel me?
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, it's like when I look at I saw somebody say took off the music. If enough of y'all want me to lower it down and take out, just let me know. I lowered it down.
It's fine. For me, it's fine. I'll be real.
It's fine. I say that. Yeah, I just lowered it down a little bit. But yeah, so like, even like for me, like YouTube wasn't even like my thing. Like I had a channel for a minute, but my first video was nothing like that. I used to upload random game stuff, martial arts stuff, whatever. Yeah. You feel me? But yeah, it's just always interesting. So even with that, like what made you even want to bother starting, whether it be doing the beat videos, doing the reactions, like what made you want to do it?
Do you know what? Yeah, I like a lot of these other producers. I didn't want my face out there like that. I'm a very antisocial kind of private person. This YouTube stuff is the opposite of my personality. You feel me?
Yes, bro.
So, you know this. So, but I was like, bro, I gotta do something different. I can't lie. I gotta do something different. Like, man's been the boring guy, don't talk to no one my whole life. Like, well, not my whole life, but for a good period of time. Let me try to do something outside of the box and maybe that make yourself uncomfortable so you're forced to grow. You feel me? Yeah,
it's interesting you say that, because the same thing with me. Like, I'm super introverted. If I had the option, like I wouldn't be here. I mean, obviously I had the option, but it's like for me, the bigger purpose is bridging that gap. You feel me? Like helping people understand the world through music. That's the biggest thing for me. So that's what really keeps me going more than anything else. It's like, you know what? Like, I don't see anybody else doing this the way that I do it. Obviously, we have bare American channels. We know that already. Shout out to all of you in the chat. You know, and everybody has their own spin, right? Everybody has like their personality in it. Some people do it in duos. Some people just have mad entertainment with it. I'm not an entertaining kind of person. You feel me? I may have moments that are entertaining, but for me, the way I looked at it was like the way that I look at it and I think about music is why I felt like I had the value, and I didn't see anybody else doing it in that particular way. So that's why I was like, you know what? If no one else is gonna be doing this like this, I gotta step up, you know. And shout outs to International Ferg. He's doing a great job doing it his way too. Shout outs to Rag Talk. I kid you not, yo. I used to watch Rag Talk because for the longest I didn't know whether or not they were from America or the UK. So I kept watching, trying to see if they would slip up. Like, yo. And then eventually I clocked that they were from Brooklyn. You feel me?
Hey, before we even go further, let me just say an apology to International Ferg, innit? For obviously not including him in the nominees of the UK Drill Awards. It's an oversight on me and Lee's part, you get me? And we respect what he's doing, you feel me? So just wanted to put that out there. Yeah,
man. Facts. Real quick, let's see. I know we had a couple people who dropped some questions in the chat. I know one person asked you, do I have any siblings? If so, they're into drill as well. I don't have siblings, but I am in a frat. So a lot of my bros, they listen to UK music, they listen to drill, etc. Like just today, I was live earlier, chilling with them. And then I was telling everybody how one of my bros, when he pulled up on our way to practice, he put on the first thing he said was jiggy jiggy on deck. Those were his exact words. Not yo, what's good, bro? It was jiggy jiggy on deck. What's good? Like,
I got a question for you. See frats, they like what we see in the movies.
So, what I like to tell people is that the things that you see, they come from somewhere. It's not like people just pull these kind of stories out of thin air, but aspects of it are exaggerated to a degree, right? It isn't like every single time you join, every organization that you see is beating people up. That's not how it is. Truth be told, like the reason why I joined my org was because I saw the character of the people who were in the frat, and I knew, I was like, nah, I know your values. We share very similar. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go through certain things. And then lo and behold, that wasn't my experience. And even in my experience bringing people in, that hasn't been their experience either. Like, we have people of other organizations, older heads, who are like, yo, shout out to y'all doing it right. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing the things that we should have been, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, though, like I said, those stories, they don't come from nowhere. You feel me? Like, people are getting hurt, people are dying, people are embarrassing themselves. It's the reality, you feel me? But really, but those, truth be told, those instances are still kind of few and far between. But it's like think of it like drill, right? Not every single drill artist is out 24/7 on roads doing blah, blah, blah. There's aspects of it that are true, right? There's a truth in the experience, but that isn't the overarching narrative. So that's the way. That's the way I like to frame it. You feel me? I actually saw one of my frat bros in here too. Shout out to you, Ian. Word. So speaking of siblings, real quick, right? So Jaco, how did Jaco get into music? Granted, obviously I'm interviewing you, but like, what was the conversation? Like, how did that happen?
So when I was younger, he would try rap. Like when I was like 13 and that, like he was a little kid, he would try rap and that. He weren't that good. And then when he got to like, he stopped. Like, he's never been like a full-on rapper. And he got to like 17 or something, and then I'll see a freestyle of his on one page, and I'm like, huh? Okay, cool. This is quite hard. And then just before he went jail, he showed me a couple things. Raw. Like, and the reason he wears a mask is because of some of the stuff he does in it. We don't
honestly. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
get it, yeah.
Like, for me, it's like I'm not around him all the time, so I'm getting to hear him tell me stories of what's going on. Do you feel what I'm saying? And
yeah.
It's like, rah, okay. This is cold. Like, man's imagining I'm with him. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, or certain things he's told me on the phone, I'm hearing in his bars and that. Or certain things I'm seeing, I'm like, rah. You put that in a unique way. All right, then.
You know what's interesting? It's like one of the reasons why I gravitate towards Jaco's music is like, I like the way that he delivers, because you can tell he's delivering it in a way that's authentic to him. You feel me? I feel like there's some artists where like the experience may be real, but they're trying to package it in a way that resonates with somebody else. You know what I mean? Or like they're trying, I don't want to say use somebody else's sound, but it doesn't feel like they found them yet.
Yeah.
And when I listen to somebody like Jaco, like, I hear somebody who's going with their own sound and going with their own energy, their own cadences, still mastering it. You know what I mean? But it's still very much so authentic to him. Like, when I think about artists like the 98s, where they landed on a sound that's very authentic to them. You see what I mean? Like that. So shout outs to Jaco. He's definitely doing this thing. Let me see what going on in the chat. Let's see. Jaco needs to be surrounded by other people, by the right people. Facts. And actually, shout outs to you, Walkz. Obviously, you know, you're both doing the right thing with regards to putting him onto music, helping him produce music. So shout outs to you. We definitely have to give credit to that. I think that's the side of the music that we don't talk enough about, or rather people choose not to talk about. You know what I mean? So like, how do you feel about, obviously we know people, you know, do music to change their life, but how do you feel about the narratives around how people use music to change their life, especially drill? Like, how do you feel like people talk about it? How do you think we should be talking about it, etc.?
People that really talk negative and they ain't really around it. So for me, I don't really understand that. Like, if you've got family that's in this thing, why would you not want them to be in the booth talking about the lifestyle rather than spending more time doing it? Do you feel what I'm saying? So for me, this is why I don't really hold these rappers to a standard, because I'm not on road. I'm no one to judge who's on road. And for one, I want to see you get out of the environment that we all live in. Do you feel what I'm saying? So why would I have a problem with that? Like, we gotta get our bread, bro. You get me? Like, let's live. Do you feel me?
Facts. Yeah, but I feel you on that. Like, it's something I always say. You know, every hour in the booth is an hour not outside.
That is facts. And for me, I try to keep Jaco in the booth as much as I can. You get me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's. Oh, first of all, I see Ellis. You know, shout outs to Ellis, another young producer, you know, doing his thing. Real quick, random shout outs. Shout outs to Beamer. Shout outs to ST. Shout outs to Goldie. Right. Shout outs to Chirac and shout outs to Ellis. You know, young producers doing their thing, making really good music. Yo, shout outs to all of y'all. Was that? Yeah, facts. Really quickly, just so everybody else, anybody who tunes in when I say this, right? If you have a question, this will make it way easier, right? If you have a question, start your message in the chat with question, right? And put it in all caps, like the question parts. That way when I'm scrolling, I know exactly what I'm looking for. But let's jump back into some of these other things. So, but what's the story behind you getting into producing specifically? Like what was your first beat? Like what got you into producing?
The orders in my area still. Like you mentioned, Graham, being from Tottenham, Northumberland Park in particular,
yeah,
there was a lot of Graham MCs, Graham producers and stuff like that. And the block I lived in used to be where they chilled at. So I'm constantly seeing, like, I'd see people rap and then they'd leave my block and go to radio. And I'd hear them on radio straight after they've left. Like, I'd come up my house and see Chip. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Other rappers and that, like, so how could you can't not be inspired by that, you feel what I'm saying? And people that lived in my block, like we had Limitless, who's now an engineer that does Digga D stuff, KO stuff and that, like he's like a big bro to me, showed me how to make beats as well. Like my uncle, who I lived with at the time, he made beats, he showed me how to make beats. So man used to have all of these guys FLPs and I could like just directly learn from that. You feel what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying, yeah. That's interesting because one of the things that one of the reasons why I gravitated towards your channel personally, cause as I was talking to you about before we were on live, I study branding. Like that's what my master's is in. So I'm always looking at channels through a different lens. Like how is this channel strategically placed themselves within this space? Like what are they doing that's different to everybody else to make me want to come back to them specifically? So I just said, some people just funny, some people they have the knowledge, etc. And for you, you had a 3-prong approach to your channel that not many people, if anybody else, is really taking. 1, you're knowledgeable about music and you're critical, and 2, you're entertaining, obviously. But then 3, you're welcome. And then 3, you also tie in your own craft. You know what I mean? Like you use your own beats. You started your own platform.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So like that's one of the things that I really appreciate because it adds a whole different layer of value to the experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you still. Thank you for the kind words as well.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Which even that ties into something else I wanted to know too. Like, what inspired the way that you approach your reactions? More specifically with like your edits. Like, what was the moment when like you were making videos and you said, you know what? Let me start highlighting the punchlines.
So from I came into it, it's like my personal preference outside of music is punchlines, isn't it? Like one of my favorite songs of all time is Krypton Corner Meta Fives. Like me and my uncle would play that on repeat, literally 70 times. Like every punchline you hear, like we'll the whole track. You know what I'm saying? And being around some of these artists that I mentioned earlier, like the Shockers, the Double S, Vertex, Chip, all of these guys do the punchline thing. So I've grown up like catching punchlines and that. So it's just transferred into the reaction thing. And then obviously I'm catching them, but the fans ain't catching them sometimes. You feel what I'm saying? Like they're still asking, what does that mean? So, all right, well, I might as well put them on the screen, innit? Like, you get me? I asked them on Instagram. They're like, yeah, do it. And then from there, just started doing it. You get me?
Facts. Yeah, and even that, like, that's one of the aspects that kind of inspired the way I approach, my channel too. It's like, at first I started with just, I'm going to play this song, I'm going to react to it, whatever. But then when I started thinking about, like, what my why is, right? And even with that, like that's a big thing when you're talking about doing anything, whether it be content, anything that you do, knowing your why is so important, or else you're just moving aimlessly, right? So for me, my why is I want people to understand the scene. I want people to understand music through a completely different lens and understand how music can help you understand the rest of the world. So in my mind, I'm just like, there's no point in me just doing this reaction if the only people who are gonna be able to get value from it are people who already understand it. So I was like, you know what? Boom, let me start throwing up the because if on top of that, if I'm sharing it to my friends, and at the time they were like my first viewers, if they don't get it, this will be pointless. So I started putting the slang. And I started putting small explanations. And then over time, I was like, let me see what I could do with this software. And then I started learning the other things, the animations and all that. So and I definitely get aspects of that was definitely inspired by you for real. So shout out to you for that. Boom.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So again, while we're talking about YouTube as well, like what do you think is the hardest part of running a channel?
Motivation. Motivation to edit, to film, to have to not listen to songs when it first comes out, not listen to albums, having to be around people that can't play certain songs, you get me? And it's just like, that's the hardest part. And dealing with these entitled people.
Yo, let me tell you something. So I remember the days when I used to be telling you and Leo, leave them alone, it ain't worth it. Now that I'm on the other end, it's like, nah, man. Man. I ain't never felt so aggressive in my life until I started dealing with these. Yo. Because it's like you can't do nothing to them. All you can do is read it and be mad and then be aggravated.
I don't even do the mad thing. I'm probably smiling my ass off when you lot are trying to troll me or I'm replying to you. You get me? Like I'm a troll. Like I enjoy drama and enjoy being angry. So I feed off this. You get me? You troll me. I see it makes me happy. You know what I'm saying? You trying to get under my skin, but I can't do yours. Love it.
Listen, man. I agree with you. And I think the hardest part for me is definitely the motivation is an aspect, right? I think always kind of trying to stay connected to the why, right? Even like when you know it, but staying connected to it and constantly identifying with it, right? And for those of you who aren't familiar, I don't know like the actual name of the theory or the concept, but essentially when you're doing something, right, you always want to start with your why and then how and then the what, right? So if you're looking at the circle, it starts with what. So what are you doing? How do you do it? And why do you do it? Right? So for example, what we do is we do reactions. We have a YouTube channel. How we do it, Walkz, he does it by highlighting the punchlines, right? Incorporating his own music and stuff. And why does he do it? He has a love for the music. He wants to he wants to raise the bar and the caliber of artists. He wants to constantly push artists to be better and not remain mediocre. That's his why, at least from my perspective, right? And then inversely, how I have a channel, how I do the on-screen edits, but my why is because I want people who aren't from the UK to be able to learn about the music while listening to it, right? Instead of listening to it, having to go online, look up the terms, find a Reddit, so that's my why. So staying connected to that sometimes, it can be tricky because you be tired.
You saying you be on Reddit with the verbalists that hate me?
Yo, allow it. Real quick. This question popped up a couple of times. Like people are saying, who are our top 5 in UK drill? As somebody said, I got an A in all my GC. I can never say this straight. GCSEs. Boom. I sound illiterate now. My bad. I proved your theory wrong. But now, who's your top 5 off the top of your head?
I don't really have one at the moment. I haven't sat down and thought about it, but
same.
What could I say? Like, I don't know. Like, before it was like Head EPS, KO. I don't even remember it like that because I just don't think these things are important, bro.
Nah, I hear you on that.
So I haven't actually. I see the question a lot, but I just haven't gave no like credence to it, no thoughts to it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. I think for me, somebody asked me earlier when I was live, when I was chilling. At the top for me right now is 100% Abracadabra. Shout outs to Abs, right? Personally, at least, right? And this is my personal top 5. This isn't me saying these are the top 5 in the UK. That's who I like. Abs, Unknown T, T-Way, Fizzler, without a doubt. Like those are definitely like my initial 4 that just jump straight to the top of my head. And then my 5 rotates time to time. It rotates between like Millions, T Zandos. It just rotates. You know what I mean? Just depending on consistency and all that. Oh, you know what's crazy? Somebody asked this one. I actually wanted to jump into this one a little bit later, right? But we're gonna ask it right now because somebody just asked. Both of you, your top 3 anime.
It's crazy, you know. I haven't thought about that one either, but you know Dragon Ball Super has to be in there. Dragon Ball Z, you get me, whatever you want. The Dragon Ball franchise, let's say that.
I understand.
Let's say that. That's the first one that most of it, well, in UK, we all grew up on, innit? You get me?
Same.
I haven't watched all of, like, there's so many animes I need to get to. I need to get to Hunter x Hunter. I need to get to One Piece. I need to get to My Hero Academia. There's
Yo, Marlon, you're actually kind of bugging. I'm not gonna hold you.
But do you know it? First of all, it's accessibility, innit?
Yeah.
I don't have Crunchyroll. You know what I'm saying? And like I just finished Demon Slayer, cause it's on Netflix. It's accessible. You get
That's
me?
fair. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not on dark anime stream and these type of things anymore. You get me?
Yeah, I hear you. All right, so that's fair. Because and again,
what about you though? What's your top 3?
You know, it's
if I don't hear Death Note, I'm walking out.
I'm gonna be honest, right? Death Note is one of those. So when I have lists, I have like an objective list, which is like I recognize as my list that's true beyond me, and there's like my personal list. Death Note is one of those where, granted, I haven't seen the whole thing, but I can acknowledge its greatness. Allow. It was one of those that
it's 58 episodes.
Chill. What it is that it was on TV, and then I just didn't watch it. Like I didn't watch it after it wasn't on TV anymore, right? I just never got into it. But it's one of those where I can acknowledge that it's great, right? I know that it's dope. Like One Piece, I'm not a personal fan, but I can acknowledge why people think it's so great, right? But my personal top 5, my all-time favorite, in terms of what's done, Rurouni Kenshin. That one I have a lot of memories associated with that one. That one is one of my personal favorites. Right now, Attack on Titan. Like
I need to see season 4. Oh my god. Whew. Don't say nothing, but I'm waiting for the season to finish. Do you get me? So I can binge watch that, bro. Yo.
You know,
season 3 is lit still.
Yeah.
Yo.
I'm gonna leave that. I'm leaving that. But yeah, Attack on Titan. Bleach was one of my favorites until the ending. And even reading it, it's like, yeah, they did me dirty. But Bleach is one of my general favorites. Code Geass is one of my personal favorites, just because it's like Death Note mixed with Gundam. Like everything you love about both. You feel me?
The ending, yeah, that reminds me of 7 Deadly Sins. That ending killed me, bro.
I've heard. I didn't even watch 7 Deadly Sins, but it's one of those when once I've heard it, somebody say you don't like One Piece, yeah, nah, I'm not watching that. It's 20 episodes. I'm good on that. But yeah,
that's why I haven't got into One Piece yet, because it's like over 1,000 at this point. I swear.
It's there, but I think it's like over 1,000 chapters. I don't know about episodes, but I think at this point it's clean over 900 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Clean over. Listen, yeah, I'm over that. But you know what? Since we're talking about anime, what inspired you to do those anime parodies? What?
Before we even get into that, how can I forget Yu-Gi-Oh, bro? Oh my.
You know what? I see what it is. I see what it is. Y'all have the mainstream joints over there on TV.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Bro, man used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like go to man's yard with my deck of cards and that. You get me? I've been to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, bro. You know, I still got the Egyptian god cards in my room to this day, bro.
Cheese on bread.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, I had a couple of decks. I was one of those that I had the cards, but I didn't know what I was doing. I just get them. But I was invested in Beyblade. Beyblade was one of my shows.
Bro, we used to bring Beyblades to school. Bro. Lunchtime, break time. Let it rip. What?
You know what's crazy? And this is why I like having these conversations, right? Like beyond just us talking about this. One of the biggest reasons why I do what I do is because the more that I listen to the music, the more I engage with people. It's like, yo, we're living the same lives in different places to a degree. You feel me? And that's one of the biggest reasons why this is so important to me. It's like for people to understand like the way that people see the UK because of media. Granted, I think now it's shifting a little bit more because now we have access, but like the whole tea and crumpets thing, like that whole really super ignorant. But at the end of the day, just like any other place in the world, when you only have one point of reference, that's all you know. You feel me? So, but this helped me understand so much more. And it's like, yo, like we're living very similar realities, you know?
Let me not hold you though.
Yeah,
the new Beyblade's whack. Like even down to the actual hardware, bro. It's whack, bro.
Yeah, it died.
You can't construct your own Beyblades no more. Like buying the metal rings and that. Like it's not the same, bro.
What's the point then?
It's not that all you do. No, this new Beyblade is whack, bro. I'm upset.
Yeah, they lost me. They lost me. They lost me. They dead lost me.
I even glossed over your question about
you're fine.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You good. But I was saying like what inspired you to do the parodies? I think it was a challenge, right? Something like that.
The first one, I started off doing artists in it, like that weren't drill rappers on drill. How they would sign on drill. Man, did who was the first one I did? Prez T.
Yeah.
Prez T
Unknown T one, right?
Before that I did Prez T on his own. I did Unknown T, not Unknown T. I did Prez T, I did Gigs, Gunna D, I done Terminator. There was bare of them. And then second series was non-drill artists with drill artists. So I did the one you were talking about, the Prez T, the Unknown T, the Gunna D, and I think it was KO, which I'm happy because they actually did a song. Do you get what I'm saying? V9 and someone else. There was a couple of them, innit? And I was like, wait, I watch anime. Like, why not? Afro Samurai. You get me? Bought the gear and that. I thought, yeah, this is gonna be lit. Because what people are telling me is that, rah, obviously it's bants, innit?
Yeah.
But you're actually good at it. So I was like, yeah, cool. Let me do the anime thing because V9 was doing a lot of anime references. Blanco was doing a lot of anime references.
Yeah.
At that point, it was very tied into drill. You feel what I'm saying? So even down to when you hear my new tag now, you'll understand. Feel me?
Oh, all right, say on. All right. We're gonna leave it at that. So while we're talking about inspiration, right? So who are some of your musical inspirations?
Are we talking about now or growing up?
Let's say both. Like growing up, like who are some of your musical inspirations? Like people who got you hooked into music, like listening to them, and then now transitioning into making it.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the people in my area. So my greatest influences are people that I could actually go out and see, and you get me, be around day to day. So like Limit, like Double S, like Vertex, Chip, Marvel, all of these people I could, like JME and these type of guys, like these are the people man would hear on radio and I could see in my area the next day. Do you feel what I'm saying? So that was my influences. Then now, like you see, Gotcha, M1, Ghosty, AV, Ludo, new producer, big him up. There's those type of guys in it. Man will actually sit down and just watch them and learn from them. Do you feel what I'm saying? Those are my influences now.
You know what's interesting? Because I heard you say it earlier, like, what's it like being able to step outside and see the artists that are on these platforms? Like, what's that experience like?
Obviously, when you're in it, you don't really notice, innit? You don't. Man could be. I've been walking on MPK Road and seen Wiley before, like, thinking, what the hell is he doing here? Like, it's just, but you don't go up to them because it's normal. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, saying there's another person.
Like, you don't treat them like anyone different. Do you feel what I'm saying?
That's what you're saying.
It's only when you start to speak to people outside of the environment and they're gassed about the people you spend day to day with.
I see what you're saying.
That you actually kind of clock. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like, oh, these are actually like, yeah, I see what you're saying. It's interesting because I feel like that's one of the things that I say about drill too. it's like it's the people's music. You feel me? Like for the people, by the people, like because of the internet, more or less, there's a lot more hands. The people who are making it have a bit more control to a degree. You know what I mean? They're controlling their own narratives. They more or less can control, like they can make their own channels once they reach a certain point, and then they can push out whatever they want, you know, to a degree. Obviously, we understand the limitations, right? But that's one of the things that's interesting about, even just like looking at it like from here in New York, like there are people who I may not necessarily know the artists out here, right? But guarantee I know somebody who at least knows some people's favorite New York artists.
America is a lot bigger than the UK though, so
yeah,
it's different. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Your own state, like, could have one star, but you don't get to see them. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if you live in Tottenham, you're gonna see everybody that has been a star in Tottenham. Do you feel what I'm saying? You're gonna see you're gonna see Chip.
Yeah.
You're going to see them at one point in time. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's fair.
The area is so small.
That's fair. It's like people, like a lot of my friends, they're from Canarsie, so they knew Pop. You feel me? Like Canarsie, for those who want to, Canarsie is the part of RP to Pop Smoke, right? Canarsie is the area of Brooklyn where Pop was from, right? People know 22Gs. Like I know people who know these artists. Like you feel me? Like I remember Sticks had a bar. I know Spacey's about to feel this one. Sticks had a bar. He was like, I know man on a first name basis. Now he rapping about boots and laces. Like people that like it's people that go to school, went to school with these artists. So this is interesting seeing them on YouTube. It's
inspiring to see though.
Yeah, because like you have access to them to a degree. Facts. Real quick, I want to jump on some of these questions that people asked, right? Real quick. Someone said, who's my favorite reactor? I'm asking you the same thing. I think we have the same answer. My favorite reactor is Owner Genius.
My guy.
Yo, you know what's crazy? I said this in the chat, right? If Unrai and Ty linked up, that'll probably be the funniest reaction that will ever happen. Ty TV, if they were to link up, that would hands down be, in my opinion, probably the funniest reaction. Because them two right there, like they're a prime example of just bringing the personality and the comedy. Like, yeah. Let's see what else. What's some other? Oh, one of my bros asked, why don't you rock with the older drill as much as the newer stuff?
Me?
Yeah.
For the reasons that I listen to music. Like, all right, when I first heard about drill was 2015, right? Like, Shocker asked Jaco, what type of music are you listening to right now? Jaco said drill. We looked at each other like, what's that? So he's played the drill song, and me and Shocker looked at each other like, what the? What is that? Because of the type of music and the way we listen to, like, we love the lyricism, catching bars, like things to be explained in a unique, intricate way that not everybody can do. Do you know what I'm saying?
I understand.
That's what we enjoy about music. So when there wasn't that in the early days of drill, it's like, all right, I can't connect to. I don't relate to this lifestyle because I'm not on the road. Cool.
I understand.
You're not telling me like we watch battle rap, bro. Like the way they explain gun bars and you know what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm on their hair. You gotta talk crud. Tell it to me in a way that's unique. You feel me?
Yes.
So on that way, they weren't doing that. The beats weren't really my type of beats at that time.
Agreed.
And then as they started to get into the more like 808 slide era, like the M1, when M1 and the Beat and MK the Plug were doing the hella collabs and they were running the scene.
Yes.
The beats that got me into it. And then I found artists like KO and these type of people that was like, wow, there is lyricism. Of course, we know Heady and RV. Obviously, there is lyricism over here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to focus on that. Do you feel me?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like, it's similar to me. Like, I always say to people, and they kind of look at me a little funny when I say, like, older music in general doesn't really gravitate towards me. Like people look at me crazy, but like the 90s, 80s hip hop is not my sound. Like just the sound of it, the boom bap. Allow it. Like,
hey, each their own. But
you know what it is? It's like I can say, like I can acknowledge why it's good. That's why I say that I can think about things objectively. I can acknowledge the objective truths of some things and the subjectivity. Like I would never say the music from that era was bad. It's just harder for me to listen to. It could be a generational thing in terms of like identification with it, things like that. But it also wasn't what I grew up on. I grew up in a Caribbean household. So I'm growing up waking up to Bear Sizzler and Barris Hammond and all. That ain't what I'm listening to until I turn on the radio. And on the radio, they ain't playing the 90s stuff. So just like that older sound to me, it just doesn't resonate. Even
crazy to me.
Listen, but you know, similarly to drill, like I remember the first drill song I learned about was I Don't Like Chief Keef, and when I first heard it, this is different.
Bad boy song.
Different.
Bad boy song.
Different. And I was like, what's this drill thing? Like drill, like that was when I was introduced. That was in 2010, 11. I remember because I was in 10th grade. So 2010, 2011, that was when I first learned about drill. I was like, all right, this is interesting. But like the sound, like the way, like the bells and like the dark grittiness, but with that bright aspect, it was weird to me. But then like I landed on the UK drill, you know?
To mention the 10-11 thing, that made me remember something like back in when I first Jaco first showed man about this drill thing, is when I didn't understand him as a person at that time, innit? And I didn't understand the kids of the road as much at that time, innit? Like it took me a while to kind of understand the lifestyle and like reconnect with it. So that was a kind of a stumbling block into me getting into drill, you feel me? So when you're mentioning 10-11, they felt like play for the pagans.
Yeah.
When that first come out, like I was reacting at that time. People asked me, I listened to the first, I said, huh? I can't, no, too far, bro. Too far. I can't. Yeah. But now we listen to No Censor, we're like, do you know what I'm saying? You have to be eased into it. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yes. That's fair. I give you that 1,000%. Real quick, we're gonna see what some other stuff said. That was a good question. What was another good one? You know, some of the questions that people asked here tie into some of the ones that I have for you. So real quick. I have some interesting ones for you, right? All right. If you could put together, right? If you could put together a 2008 DJ Khaled style UK all-star lineup for a song. I'm talking, you remember them days, them 5 to 6, 7, 8 minute tracks with like bare artists, right? If you could put together one of those, right? Who will be the artists? Who will be the producers? And if applicable, who will be the engineer or engineers?
Fumes is the engineer or Sean D. You get me? The producers is a collab between Gotcha, Tifo, and Mason. The artist, if we're talking about drill, we're gonna put KO and DA on there. We're gonna put Heady on there. We're gonna put PS and Quang. We're gonna put Jaco, Neo, and B. But if there was no B for putting Digger on it as well.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand. Yeah.
But yeah, man, it would be a mad one still.
I think for me, Abs, Unknown T, T-Way, off rip.
How could I forget T-Way? Fring Gully on there as well.
But yo, damn. It's all right, boom. If I'm thinking about vibes, right? In terms of matching vibe, Gully, Backroad, Quang, Triz, right? For like that playful kind of that vibe. You feel me?
Yeah.
In general, I've been saying for the longest, I would love to hear T-Way, Fizzler, T Zandos on a track.
I hope they're cool because I want that song to come out.
That would be fire. I mean, the way I look at it, right? Zandos and Fizz made a track. Fizz is always not always, but Fizz has referenced T-Way at least twice in his song. So we'll see what happens. But I think that would be a dope collab. Unknown T, Abracadabra, without a doubt. Unknown T, Abracadabra, Billy on the Hook with iSong. Billy on the Hook with iSong. If they had like a rotation, like kind of like a thing where they go bar for bar back and forth.
Don't sleep. Put Billy, iSong, and Abs on that hook. Don't sleep.
Yes.
Melodies.
Yep. Mad. That would be mad. 10 minutes straight. Producers. Yo, BK. Right. Shout out to Tifo. Shout out to Tifo when he made some dope tracks. So he's one of the first tags that popped in my head. What was that?
I met him recently. Good guy still.
Yo, amazing music. Who else? BK and I don't want to put too much because you put too much, then this starts getting muddied. Ghosty for the bass. Because let me tell you something. Prison is my most rinsed drill song of 2020. I played Prison over 100 something times.
Prison? What song is that again?
The Trident, keys booting my drumming. It's going to trial, it's all or nothing.
Who's that by?
Boots, it will leave no trails. Unknown T, bucking to us, of course they run. You wasn't really feeling it that much. It was on Rise Above Hate. It's my personal favorite. See my life in the blocks, I living in hell. I'm beefing old as a young G, step to my block, or you might get shelled. You wanna know who the unknown shooting? Why come my strip don't tell? Black.coms will leave no trail. What? Yo,
yeah, Free Lack would be cold on that beat as well. So.
There you go. There goes my 3. All right. All right. So now similarly, right? If you could pair one American artist with one UK artist, right, along with one American and UK producer for a song, who would you put together? Chris Rich. I gotta forget Chris Rich. Jesus Christ. But yeah.
I want to hear what that Dusty and Ab song sounds like. I do want to hear what that sounds like.
Fair.
As for UK producers versus US, I don't really know who makes US drills like that. So I'll say the one that made Christopher Walken, obviously Wonder Girl. I'd say her. And do you know what? I'd simply say, just because they're under the same management, I'd say 5 Beats as well. Just because it would be easier for that's a real possibility of happening. Do you know what I'm saying?
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. If I had, all right, boom. I think I have a couple pairs in my head, but off the top of my head, I've been saying this one in my head for a minute, right? Suppose that's a good question. Boom. Sahai the Prince for my American artist, right? Sahai the Prince and T-Way. All right, Sahai the Prince is high key the best artist on good music. Sahai. After this, type in Sahai the Prince. Listen to anything by Sahai.
I know what Sahai can do, but I didn't see that happening.
You know, he's my favorite American artist. Sahai is my favorite American. You know what's crazy? Sahai has a song called Far Removed, which was like drill before drill was identified as drill to me, in my opinion. It was one of those. It was like around the era of like the Chicago type sound. It's a song called Far Removed. Was that? No, he's from Atlanta. He's from Zone 6. Yeah, he's from Atlanta. Not Stone Mountain. He's from Zone 6 Atlanta. Yeah. Sahai he's
got bars. I can't lie.
What Sahai, I always tell people, for people who love T-Way, for people who love Potter, who love that kind of music, Sahai is your artist. And T-Way, producer, just because I'm curious as to what he would be able to do. 800 Hertz, he did Dede for Unknown T, right, on the American side. And on the UK side, this is a tricky one. I feel like I wouldn't mind Chris Rich, but I think his sound is a little bit too bright for them two in particular. I think maybe M1, because M1 he has a lot of versatility. Oh no, boom! I got you right now. Gotcha, and 800 Hertz. If I Gotcha. 800 Hertz, that's a good one. Let's get through some of these because time is running. Let's see what I want. We already asked favorite anime, American artist. All right, boom. Here's an interesting one. And then we'll close it out with some questions, just personal, right? We just throw some regular questions about regular life, right? To close it out. But what's your favorite American album or project, and then UK album or project?
Wow. These type of questions you gotta give man time to prepare. God damn it. Oh gosh.
Rapid fire.
Oh man. Let's just say Class of 98s for now, because my mind's blank.
Understood.
American, just off nostalgia. Obviously, the things he's accused of, I don't know nothing about.
Understand.
You get me? I'm just talking about the music. But Tory Lanez Conflicts of My Soul.
Boom. All right. Projects. American project. Right now, my favorite American project of all time is Speakerbox Love Below by Outkast. That was one of the first CDs, the physical CDs that I ever had. I went to Trinidad and my uncle gave me a burnt version of it. I had a Walkman. I used to listen to that everywhere I went. It was like the only 2 CDs that I had for a minute. Speakerbox Love Below. And then for UK project, it's tricky. I want to say Product of My Environment, but Big Conspiracy. I know.
No, I completely missed them out. Yeah, man. Sorry. I'm gonna take away Class and IX and replace that with DXT2.
There we go. All right, boom. All right, let's see if there are any other music questions. Then we close it out with some real life.
Get your real life questions in the chat, man.
Yeah, man. Drop those. Somebody ask something. I don't even know what this man is asking me, so I'm gonna ignore that real quick. But boom. Man is asking me something.
Osai CH. No,
oh, yes, yeah.
YH.
Yep, there you go. Somebody got that. Shout out to whoever got that. And shout out to you, Walks. Yep, Sahai the Prince, the best. All right. What got you into trading?
Actually, my cousin used to work for a trading firm, innit? And they had a course where you could learn, so I took that course. That obviously was forex trading. Got into that, and yeah, just I love it, bro. But I don't have the time. Like it, I can only focus at one thing at a time, innit? So if I'm doing, I can't. This is why the gaming channel will suffer if I'm doing reaction thing, or vice versa. Do you feel me? Like, or the producing will suffer. Like, I can only focus on one thing at a time.
At a time.
Trading is full in. I don't have the time to do it, so I just do stocks.
Makes sense to me. If not music, what career did you originally plan on pursuing?
I used to say I never want to do music. I can't lie. I was embarrassed about telling people I did it. Like when I was younger and that. So it would have been. I want to do a lot of things. I want to do, obviously, trading. Yeah. Acting, games design.
Acting.
Yeah, games design. I wanted to be like even like directing and stuff like that. Like there's bare things, bro. I want to be a lot of things, bro. But who knows if we have the time?
It makes sense now. It makes sense. Your whole channel makes sense now. Your whole channel makes sense. The creative direction of Who's Got Bars, obviously, right? That takes direction to a degree. Obviously, you have a videographer, but that takes direction. Not that you want drilling, right? That makes sense. All these things, it's all coming together now. The math.
Yeah.
Walkz acting. Luckily, the gun jammed on him. That's funny. Highlights of your YouTube career, of your YouTube journey so far. Did I give you a chance to ask me some questions?
Highlight of my YouTube, hitting 100K definitely. That's probably the biggest one, man. I like giving the fans moments, like having V9 on the album reaction, doing the album reaction, Gully on the album reaction, stuff like that. Like I like giving them moments like that. You feel me? Maybe to be underappreciated right now, but maybe in future. You feel me? That's the type of thing I enjoy doing. But what about you? Like, what's your highlight so far?
My highlights so far aren't even necessarily YouTube itself, but just like the love that I've gotten from it. I mean, like I have friends who I didn't even think really cared, who just like, yo, I see what you're doing. Shout out to you. It's so inspiring. Things like that. And then the artists who either reach out or who just respond to things or whatever. Like that's definitely like just going from I'm going from trying to put my friends onto these artists to having conversations with them. Like, to me, that's been a big highlight. And I think the biggest highlight of all is my friends being like, yo, I want to learn about UK music. Like, what should I listen to? Like who are some artists that I should check out? Or like my friend, just the other day, she texted me, like, yo, like I told her, listen to Abracadabra. You know what it is? You know what is happening? She just started texting me mad stuff from Apple Music. She just texted me like Unknown T World War II. She was texting me a bunch of different songs. I'm like, yeah, I checked that out. I said to her my reactions, all that. It started off because there was a post on Facebook, Pete and Baz, and people sent me like, oh, you should react to them. I'm just like, already ahead of you. You know what I mean? So like those moments, the fact that people are recognizing me as somebody who they can have these conversations with, trusting my judgment. Like one of my friends, she's chilling with some of our mutual friends, and then she snaps me and they're like, yo, they said send this to Alchemist, and my friends are listening to iSong, Pull Up, right? Mind you, mad of my friends out here bumping that low key iSong. He's gonna be one of the first to blow up over here. He's gonna be one of the first. One of my friends, they hit me up like, yo, you heard this one? They sending me, have you ever heard a love song on drill? Like that's the highlight for me.
You know what? Even you talking about that made me remember my highlight is definitely Jaco. He's got bars.
I could imagine. I could imagine. Yeah, that must have been. Yeah, that must have been. Can I
address Aaron Diaz quickly?
Go for it. I even know what he said, but go for it.
He says, ProdByWalkz, what's your personal agenda against Active Gang? Everybody knows you never show them love.
Jesus Christ.
I treat Active Gang the same way I treat everybody else, my guy. Don't hate nobody. I don't know them. I wish them well. I hope they all do big things in this game. But I'm also not going to bread them, like, musically. Do you feel what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it real. So my opinion, do you get me? I'm going to say what I like, what I don't like. But you lot seem to stick on to what I don't like rather than what I do like. But it's up to you. What can I say? Can't please everybody. But big up Active Gang.
People just like making narrative. I've noticed that about this this YouTube stuff. People just love making up narratives to explain
Bro,
things.
if I don't react to them, I see someone say, what's your problem with OFBS? I even see someone say, what's your problem with MPK? I said, huh? Me? What? Hey, but you know, you can't please everybody, bro.
Man said, is Shadiq typing with one hand? Yes, I am.
Man, he in the game. He technical.
Yeah. So anything you want to ask me, so we start closing this one out?
Bro, what's the goal? What's the end goal?
End goal right now. The end goal right now is, in terms of YouTube, I definitely want to be a space where people can say, I want to learn about this culture, this music. Let me check out this channel, right? And jump on and just like be able to watch the music and learn the lyrics. And that's really my angle. People who want to learn, they can say, yo, go check out this channel specifically. You feel me? Like my whole thing is always about bridging those gaps. And not even just between music, just between communities. So the fact that you and I are having this conversation, the fact that we have the American reactors talking to the UK reactors, there's all these different things. Like I really want to be a part of that narrative. That's really a big goal for me. Sub-wise, right now I want to hit 100K.
Hey, we need that plat picture, boy.
You get me? Right?
When you get that, let's take that picture, my boy.
Say nothing. Also, visiting the UK, that's another big one for me too. Visiting the UK, like actually being able to go and like.
I really want a lot of you lot to come over here and we just create flipping mad content, bro.
That'd be amazing. I can imagine, imagine we reached a point where we had enough clout where a big project is coming out and they just invite the reactors and we all do like our own vlog reacting to the thing at like a listening party. That would be fuego.
That would be lit. That would be lit.
One day.
But he's definitely best newcomer though.
Facts.
Sorry, Aaron.
Facts.
I love making you mad.
Take
but
me
he's
in.
the best newcomer.
I can't argue that. I guess so. A closing question. There's a lot of questions. So sorry for all the questions we weren't able to get. As I see, I've been looking at this screen for a minute. I have bare questions, but it's a lot. You feel me? But I guess for some closing questions, what's your vision for the future? To the degree in which you're willing to disclose.
Obviously, I don't want to be in front of the camera forever, like YouTube and that. You get me? So, getting back to my personality and not being like not being out here, bro. But I have to make sure this genre is solidified before I go. Do you feel me? That's the main thing. And like Osman said, lose some weight, flex a little bit,
Jesus Christ.
But until then, fat boy living, you get me? All of that. Yeah, me.
Heard that. Yeah, so real quick, again, sorry to all the questions that we weren't able to answer. There was bare questions. There was a lot. People was asking all kind of stuff. I think at the very least, I think we touched on a chunk of the things. People were asking about like, what do we think is going to be the subgenre to make it? I think that the R and drill subgenre is going to play a big role globally, long term, in my opinion, in terms of reaching audiences. Yeah, what else? Will Chicago Drill make a comeback? I don't think it ever left. I think it's just different audiences now. What US UK link up? We talked about that. Out of flow, delivery, crud, wordplay, beat selection, who do you think is the most? What is the most important thing? For me, delivery, because none of that matters if you can't deliver it well. Personally. What kind of music do we listen to the most? I listen to UK music. Primarily. Yeah.
Tally.
All right, yo. So, again, shout out to all of you who tuned in. But before we close this one out, right, I do have a quick announcement. So for the 148 of you who are here, right, you know, I do have something that I want to share, right? You get me? So for those of you who are supporters of the channel, you feel me? You know, you've been around for a minute. Obviously, you've seen a lot of the growth of the channel. You've seen the name evolve and everything. And, you know, I've been wanting, there's so much that I wanted to do for this year. There's so much things I want to do branding-wise, all that good stuff, right? And at the top of the year, I was like, you know what? I want to take this to a different level. And to do that, I have to rebrand just a little bit. So in order to do so, for those of you who are here, you're going to get the announcement, right, early. We're going to be going from this to bada bing. So moving forward, well, maybe starting towards the end of the month, the new channel name, the new platform name is going to be Crossover Media. I'm going to do a whole video explaining this, the whole nine. But it's one of those things where as a creator, like, you don't want to get stuck in that analysis paralysis, kind of always trying to figure out how to do this perfectly, all that. And for the longest, I've been wanting to you know, to do like the perfect video to announce this and do all that. But I was like, you know what? I gotta let the people know. Y'all can get that part later. So again, for those of you who are here, yeah, shout outs to you, to the 147 of y'all here. But yeah, the new channel, Crossover Media, same channel, but new platform. It's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of things that we're gonna be doing, expanding beyond just the reactions, all kinds of other content, stuff like this. So now shout outs to all of you who are here. Thank you so much to all of you who are showing love in the chat. Jesus Christ. I'm about to, real quick, so you all can see what's happening right now. Yeah, sure. So apparently Lucy pulled up and kidnapped Walkz. So yeah, it's good. Walk on, Lucy. All right. So this is the part where both Walkz and I, so shout outs to Ellis Beats, his beat is playing in the background. This is the part where Walkz and I sign out. So all of you, hang tight for some more content. I do got more of that coming for y'all, but until next time, peace. Yo, tally. I'm gonna hang around the chat for a little bit for those of you who want to interact a little bit before we go. But yeah, man, thank you everyone. Deuces.